Hi there, my name is Aaron, and welcome to the Call of Comics. By the time we do another one of these, I'll get some kind of opening for it, so I'll have music and a whole, we'll have something, I promise. But for this one right now, I've got an Omnibus haul that I'm going to show you guys. I have 4 Marvel and 2 DC. I've got them over a few different companies, all on sale, so I got them all at a really good price. Plus, we'll look at the Amazon site and see what's using Keepa to see what some of the big pre-orders are right now, and I'll give some recommendations. I got my cousin over here, so I'm going to drink a little bit of my cola for a second, and then we'll be able to do this because I'm not clearing my throat too much. It's not a Mountain Dew, so if you are a Crimson Cop member, you get that joke. It's an inside joke. So I guess we'll do the DC ones first, and we'll start off with the DC one here. The first one is part of a series that I am getting. I'm actually only missing one of these, and I'll have the complete set. And this is the wrong one, actually. Shoot. Okay, I gotta get Raj to give me the right one. Can you get me the other one of those? It's over there. Yeah, I'll go with this one. So as we do, over by the water cooler. All right. So while we're waiting on the other Brave and the Bold one, yeah, I picked up from Zavi. They had a sale on this one. I think it was like $20. Is the Golden Age Batman Volume 3. So this is my first Golden Age Batman Omnibus. It's my first Golden Age DC Omnibus altogether. I've got some Golden Age Marvel. I got Golden Age Captain America Volume 1. I've got the Marvel, the original Marvel Comics Golden Age Omnibus. But this is really cool, really well done. I wish they would have had the letters pages in there. That's the only thing, if I was to say anything kind of against that itself. But the remastering of the comics are incredible. It looks like these things could be made yesterday, except for some of the really different storylines that are out there. No real features in this one here. I think there's a introduction. So yeah, so we get an introduction by, I think it's Dick Sprang. Yeah, so Dick Sprang did this introduction back in 1998. Dick Sprang's one of the big artists on Batman. He's one of the kind of like Bill Finger and guys. He was one of the more influential artists when it comes to the golden age of Batman. And both Bill Finger and Dick Sprang, only in that era of time could you have those names and it not be totally horrifying, I guess. The next one here that I picked up and was extremely excited to get because I had the 3rd volume. I got it on sale. Well, actually, my mom got it on sale for me at Christmas, but I didn't think I was going to be able to get the other 2 volumes. There's a little bit of a tear there. So this is volume 1 of Batman Brave and the Bold. This is the kind of the 70s era. So we're kind of into the I guess the bronze, bit the Silver Age, bit the Bronze era. And you can tell the difference actually, kind of because you get the Plastic Man stuff. And it's really neat to see Plastic Man realize this wasn't originally a DC character, but he would eventually become it. One of my kids' favorite characters, the Creeper, is in one of these issues. Again, because it's it's a themed book to a certain era, that they don't put a lot of features in there, actually none except for an introduction. And for this one here, our introduction is by Robert Greenberger. So I love this era because I love Bob Haney, and Bob Haney has a lot of these really, really good things. So we're going to get into a more modern era right now and dive into the Cosmic Saga. And we'll start that out with Cosmic Ghost Rider by Donny Cates. Now, other people wrote stories in here, but Cosmic Ghost Rider is Marvel, and it is a really cool one. I won't tell you who Cosmic Ghost Rider is, in case you want to find it for yourself. But let's just say Cosmic Ghost Rider is a character, an important character in Marvel, and you do know who he is. It's not one of those guys where you're going to look at him and say, "Oh, who's that?" You're going to know. You're going to know right away. And it starts off with this here Thanos wins storyline. So I guess I should have been like telling you the numbers on these things before, but I'll start with this one here. And this includes Thanos 13 to 18, the 2016 series. Thanos Annual #1, Cosmic Ghost Rider 1 to 5, Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History, which is really good, 1 to 6. Guardians of the Galaxy issues 1 to 6. That's the big Ghost Rider crossover story. I think that's one with like a lot of Ghost Riders. Or is that the Avengers? No, Avengers maybe the one with a lot of Ghost Riders. Avengers 21 to 25, Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider 1 to 5, and material from Thanos Legacy, Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. Now, unlike the other one, there is a ton of alternate artwork and alternate covers at the back of this one right here. Here's a Ron Lim one. There is a lot. I mean, like there is like pages. Got to be like 20 or so pages of alternate artwork here. And aside from that, like there's the storyline that they do the Cosmic Ghost Rider destroying the Marvel history. So it actually has a thing there where it goes through. It was done for the trade paperback, and it was like basically the different parts of Marvel history that Cosmic Ghost Rider goes to try and destroy. So there's like actually a kind of a Cliff Notes thing to kind of explain how it went, how it was supposed to go. Overall, I got to say I'm extremely impressed with this omnibus. I love Donny Cates' work. I didn't read enough of his stuff early on, but I definitely want to read more. And I've found out like that I am I do like the cosmic universe, so I'll be diving more into the cosmic stuff. Like the cosmics of sci-fi fantasy, I'm starting to become more my thing when it comes to these here. Speaking of like fantasy, we're diving into one of the greatest comic runs of all time, no matter who it is, and it is Thor by Jason Aaron. Thor by Jason Aaron is an incredible run on Thor. If you're going to watch the new movie Love and Thunder, then you're going to want to check this out. Of course, I don't think Love and Thunder can be as good as this, but that's okay. So this one here collects the Thor God of Thunder 1 to 25, Thor the 2014 series 1 to 8, Thor Annual #1, Thor's issues 1 to 4. That's a miniseries, and Mighty Thor 1 to 12. This gives you this brings in the character of a kind of like a female Thor. I guess you have female Thor or the Mighty Thor, basically, because it gets to a point. There's Gore, the God Butcher, in this one, and it's a really cool storyline. It's really well done. One of the neat things is that during Secret Invasion, I hope I got this right. No, during Original Sin, probably Original Sin, something is whispered into Thor's ear, and after it is, then it starts on like the unworthy Thor. Basically, he can't lift up Mjolnir and Mew Mew for people that watch the Marvel films. So you can't lift up Mjolnir, and there comes this mysterious female Thor. Like if you've seen the movie trailers, you probably know who it is. But in the comics, it was meant to be more of a mystery. So you don't really know who the female Thor is for a long period of time. It's a really good backstory behind that, and it makes for a really good character. We get to see Thor like doing his stuff outside of wielding the hammer. Kind of his journey back, and we get to see this mysterious Thor who is doing something that's pretty much can kill them, to put it bluntly. But it's a great run. This is volume 1. There will definitely be a volume 2 of this. There's definitely enough here for a volume 2 because we don't have the Unworthy Thor yet, which I'm pretty sure was written by Jason Aaron. I think it was. So there's definitely going to be a second volume of this. Again, features in this one are incredibly great. We get everything here from like we get like these all these covers and concept art. There's basically an introduction there, forward by and afterward by Jason Aaron, and it's amazing stuff. So I'm going to see if I can show you something without like showing you something basically. And it starts up the whole Malekith storyline. And no, I know what you're thinking. Like Thor 2: Dark Elf wasn't that great a movie, but Malekith is actually a really great character in the Thor comic book. So and considered a very strong bad guy. So there's some concept art for for Thor. Let's see if I can find you like a cover now, because he had some beautiful covers here. There's a beautiful one there with this from Thor. It's got Beta Ray Bill on the cover, and everybody's Beta Ray Bill is kind of a fan favorite. So there we go with that. We get a bit more themed because we're going even deeper into the fantasy aspects. I'm a huge Robert E. Howard fan. So Robert E. Howard is probably known mostly for the guy that created Conan, but created a character called Kull. Now, Kull was created before Conan, and Kull, the character himself, was around a few hundred years before Conan came about, because Kull is from Atlantis, and Kull, unlike, he's a king. So we get more of a actual group of people around Kull. There's he has his own cast of characters. Conan will come across people every once in a while that he's seen before, but mostly Conan, it's a solo journey. Kull, not so much. Kull's big guy that he fights is Tal-Sadun, and he has this serpent type of tribe. Actually, even I think Tal-Sadun might have been used in Conan. I'm pretty sure that's who. Is that who James Earl Jones played in Conan? Because if it is, they stole Kull's villain for the first Conan movie. Just putting that out there. But this is called The Destroyer. This is the first one. It is actually a really cool one. We get Kull the Conqueror 1-10, Kull the Destroyer 11-29, when he renamed it and brought it back. Material from Creatures on the Loose, Monsters on the Prowl 16, Conan the Barbarians 1-3, The Savage Sword of Conan number 9, and Conan the Barbarian annuals 10 and number 10 and annual 3. So it starts off with introductions. There are amazing introductions in these books. So we get our first introduction by Ry Thomas, who writes some of the best introductions in the business. Just so you know, because a lot of people forget to say this does include the letters pages that are in the comics. Not everyone does, but this one does, and I really appreciate that. We have the map. So when you're reading this, it's good to especially for any fantasy story like Lord of the Rings or any Narnia or Kull or Conan. It's good when they include a map, because you can actually kind of refer back to the map and know exactly where he is and where he's been going. So the first story is, of course, Creatures on the Loose. It is drawn by Bernie Wrightson, one of the greatest artists of all time. Definitely one of the greatest, kind of horror monster creature artists. So it's good to see him start. There we get this creature here. We get the Monsters on the Prowl artwork, but at that time is being done by Marie and John Severin. And it is some of the best artwork I've ever seen them do. We follow that up with Kull the Conqueror, the series. And we get different artists, but we get Marie and John Severin on here for a bit. So when they do it, they really do a really good job of Kull. And I'll actually share them on the letters page so you actually see what I'm talking about. I want to get to that. And there's a reason I want to refer it, because we'll come back to it again later. So this is the Thurian Chronicles. There's a small one right there, small letters page with an ad for War of the Worlds, the Marvel Amazing Adventures comic, and we get full letters pages, though, full big size ones, and it is really cool. That's just the way that was done for that for that specific issue. And for some people, it won't matter. Letters page won't be a huge deal whether it's there or not. But for me, it gives a good context to what people were thinking at the time when these stories were being written. Because now you can go online, what everybody's thinking about something, right? Whether you want to or not. There's some stuff from Savage Sword Conan here. So you get the color picture, so we get some black and white work. If you want to get the real good black and white work for Kull, though, there is a second annual called Kull the Savage, which I do recommend. So this one here is done by Doug Munch and artwork by Sonny Trinidad. And it's really good. I love the black and white art, especially in these here omnibuses. I have a few Conan, got column phone books from Dark Horse, and they weren't exactly the best quality when they were being done. So you need really kind of a glossy look to it to really be able to show off and tell what the artwork what artwork really looks like, because it tends to get a bit muddy on kind of a newspaper print. So we get some original cover art at the back as well. You can see some different artworks for Call the Conquer. You can see how it changed. We also have some breakdown art here on some of the covers, including some of the color guide. So this one here is a color guide cover. You can see the unique art style there. There's a whole bunch of stuff at the back of this, and truly, it's a fantastic. Some pinups, everything in the back. So, a fantastic book. And we finish off the omnibuses for the May and June with Call the Conquer. This is the final one. There's only 3 volumes of Call to get, and you will have all 3 in omnibus format. Now, here's one thing to know right at the gate. Robert E. Howard, Marvel has lost the rights. So at the end of the year, it looks like Marvel is going to lose rights to putting Conan and Call and Solomon Kane. So all 3 of those characters. So if you want to pick up these here, I'd say pick them up in the near future, because you may not be able to pick them up down the road. And you know the way scalpers get, when something goes out of print, right? So this is considered to be the greatest of all of the Calls ones. We get an introduction here by Ralph Macchio. Not that Ralph Macchio. You wouldn't be surprised how many times people ask that. So this one here includes Call the Conqueror 1 and 2, which was like an oversized series that they did. Call the Conqueror comes back again 1 to 10, which is another oversized series. So rather than being like a regular 22-page comic book, I think it's like 44, 50 pages, something like that. It was like a $1 comic at the time, $1.25, I think. And then we get Call the Veil of Shadow, which is the graphic novel that they did for Call. It's more of a kind of a painted look to it. Not like a nice painted look, not like some stuff that I'm really not a big fan of. But it starts off with Marvel team up 111 and 112. So that's actually kind of a bit of a surprise, because it's Call. So we get of course get the map again. But it starts out with this storyline here, and kind of sort of introduction back to Call. So Spider-Man and Devil Slayer. And basically, Spider-Man has to go back to the time of a Call because something that happened to him. So Spider-Man and Devil Slayer leads into Spider-Man and King Call. There's one big difference. Call's the king. Oh, Conan eventually becomes the king. That comic doesn't last as long. But the artwork on this here is amazing. So this is a cover here by John Bolton, who was definitely a very renowned artist. And this for number 2. John Bolton does the interior artwork here as well. And so you're getting great stuff. Like, just look at this art here. This is heavy metal-esque art when you're looking at this style of art. I think this is the worst art right here. And it's just it has such a, I don't want to say like an adult feel, because then it gives regular comics don't. But it definitely has more of a realized kind of stylized arts here, like fantasy type feel. This is what you want to see when you're looking at this style of comic book. John Bolton doesn't do everything in here, though. We get different artists as it goes through. We get some great ones though. Like John Bolton does some really nice covers on here. We get a Bill Sienkiewicz cover right here, and he's definitely more of a stylized. He's a painter, so this is more of a painted cover for Call the Conqueror. That's issue number 2. Once it came back, interior artwork on this one here is done by Big John Buscema, and Buscema did a lot of Conan. That was kind of his big thing. And people kind of criticized him for initially, when he did Call, is okay, Call is like Conan with the scar on his face. But by this point, he really got Call down pat, and you can tell that he's really good. He really does well with the character. That level of ease is there. So, because look at this John Buscema art here. This is for Dead Man of the Deep. Just amazing stuff. And again, cover artwork here by Michael Golden, who did a few of these covers. Michael Golden was big on these fantasy covers. Did a lot of this type of stuff. And his work is, just incredible. One of the neat things that I do want to mention here, and I want to see where I can find it, is that the original Call the Destroyer had a letters page. It was a regular ongoing comic book, the Thorian Chronicles. And eventually, sadly, that got canceled. So, that was the end of that. But the neat thing here is when it goes into the Call storylines, again, we get, this is the new Call, color series that's come about is that I think it's issue 3 that they bring back the letters page. So the letters page continues in here, and it's really neat to see. I can't really find it right now, but it's here. Just believe me that I did check it out just to see if they brought back the letters page for the new calls. Oh, there's right there. So they brought back the letters page. Love that Micronauts ad on the bottom there, by the way. Now, just to show you the a little snippet of the graphic novel here, so you can get an idea about this style. That's part of the Veil graphic novel. Fantastic work, by the way. And again, feature-wise in here, it is loaded with features. We get Life of the Barbarians by Neil Patterson. I think this is from Marvel Age. So you get some good write-ups on here. There's something here from in the Conan saga, which is basically a chronological breakdown of Call in the comics and that. Chronicle of Call in the pages of Marvel Comics 1971 to present, with added contributions of Roy Thomas and Jim Neal. So we get that there as well. So that's a really good guide to go by. We get some alternate artwork, some original art here. Here is Michael Golden's untouched cover for issue number 8. And on the other side there, that was Michael Golden's number 6 original art cover. Because sometimes those covers will be changed. So overall, I got to say this, it's been fantastic. So just to let you know what's on in the original books. Batman Brave and the Bold is issues 74 to 106. Why doesn't it start at number 1? Because Brave and the Bold was a different comic. It was more of an anthology style comic book with the different characters in it. But as of 74, it became a Batman team-up book. The Golden Age of Batman has issues of Detective Comics 75 to 92, only the Batman stories, by the way, and Batman 16 to 25, and World's Finest 10 to 14, with, again, only the Batman stories for that as well. Thought we'd do a quick look at what's coming out into the Omnibus world and what's on sale right now. We'll go to Amazon CA for this, and we'll dive into some of the stuff that's coming out that I can recommend. So we're finally getting a Moon Knight Mark Spector Omnibus. I'm very excited about this one. Mark Spector is my era Moon Knight. This is before kind of the DID stuff came in. He really is more of a street level crime guy. I guess, I don't say Batman really, but kind of, he's got his own style. Captain Marvel comes out again. These are all coming out next year, by the way, 2023. Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon is actually pretty good. As far as the Dan Slott era of storylines go, if you want to get a really good Spider-Verse, type of event omnibus, well, I'd say, there's the best one is still the King in Black's good. But the Carnage one is really good as well. But the Spider-Verse Spider-Geddon is a lot of fun. And just to let you know, what I do when I'm looking at this stuff here, for instance, it says here that Green Lantern Volume 2, I do own this one, is on for $111, which is 32% off. So if you add the Keepa app onto your Chrome, if you go into Chrome, if you go through Chrome, then what it does is, I have no affiliation with Keepa, just so you know, that it will chart the price of the book. So you can see right here it was down to around 112, 114. You can see it came up here to around 131. We got a dip down here now to 19, 111. So we know around what the price is. So I always put Keepa on there because it actually lets you kind of follow when things are up and let you know if something really is on for a good price, or maybe there's a weight on it. The Spectacular Spider-Man comes out this year. That's the first Spectacular Spider-Man Omnibus. We've had All Amazing so far, and that is coming in September 27th of 2022. So far, everything is subject to change, and I swear, Omnibus, time frames, they change more than a wrestling card does on an indie show. So we got Moon Knight by Houston, Benson and Hurwitz. That's actually a really good one. If you got the bones for it, this is a very expensive one. If you can ever see this one on sale, The Death and Return of Superman. It's a great omnibus. I couldn't afford it, but it's a really cool one. Right now, we got a limited deal on for She-Hulk at $75. That's actually a really good price for that. That's Peter David She-Hulk. Peter David, he's best known for his Hulk run. So I can't imagine. I'm not sure if I read all of his She-Hulk run, but I have read a bit of it. Nick Spencer. This is the most modern run of Spider-Man that they're putting out. Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer comes out in November 2022. Uh, I got this when it was on sale for like under $80. So that's why I say keep it. That's why I use the Keep app. Try and keep up with it. Dark Knight's Metal Omnibus. I'm not big on that. But there's some great stuff here. There's some amazing stuff. I'm not going to go through all this today, but we got American Vampire Omnibus Volume 1 here, which is being re-released? Because no Volume 2 is coming out. Or we have the War of the Kings here. So if you pick up Jason Aaron's like Volume 1, then more than likely what you're going to end up doing is you're going to kind of go all in. So there's going to be things like War of the Realms and War of the Kings storylines that I definitely recommend. I'm going to do like a dedicated Thor video down the road. I'll tell you about the greatest runs of the Thor kind. But there you go. See, there's Volume 2 right there, American Vampire. Finally coming out on October the 11th, a suitable month for that. A big one in August to check out, and so far there's no date change on this. It is they're reissuing Grant Morrison's Animal Man. If there was one omnibus that I'm going to recommend to you, like strongly, I'm definitely going to recommend Animal Man. This is really well done. Grant Morrison did amazing. This is one of those penultimate runs. 712 pages. It's a pretty brisk read, not too bad. And it goes through his entire Animal Man run. I hate the fact that it's now called Black Label instead of Vertigo. This was Vertigo, man. When I read these comic books, they were Vertigo. And I got it right there. Say when it was like $72-ish. That's when I actually ordered Animal Man. Now, if you order these off of Amazon, of course, if the price drops, you get the lower price. That's the one good thing about ordering on Amazon. Though, if you can, every once in a while, drop them to your local comic shop and support them. Grab something there. Not every comic shop carries omnibuses, but they do carry Epic Collections and other, floppies and other types. We got like a Teen Titans by Jeff Johns, which is out there now. Again, like they've really upped the prices. Not just DC, by the way. Marvel's up prices on their stuff too. This is one I really want, but the price has yet to really drop. That's The Flash by Mark Waid. This is the Flash era that I read. The Return of Barry Allen was kind of the storyline that sucked me back in to reading comics for a bit when I'd gotten out of it. But at least out of reading Flash. I stopped reading the Flash because Barry Allen's dead. Spoiler alert for like Crisis on Infinite Earths back in the mid '80s. Onslaught again is a really it's divisive. I really liked Onslaught. I really did. I thought it was a really coal one. Savage Avengers by Jerry Dugan. Definitely recommend this. So basically, this is the Avengers with Conan in it. These are the cool Avengers. These are Avengers that you want to see. See the. I got to read this. So, out of the Iberian Age and into the Marvel Universe, here comes Conan the Barbarian. As a Cimmerian warrior finds his way into the 21st century, he'll meet savage new friends, more than happy to join him in battle. So this is who's included in the Savage Avengers: Wolverine, Venom, Elektra, and Punisher. So yes, that's a pretty badass, kind of kick-ass book, and includes a free comic book day in 2019, where they were introduced to Savage Avengers #1. Then we get Savage Avengers 1 to 28. You get the complete run on that. Savage Avengers Annual 1, Savage Avengers 0. And that comes out in November this year. And of course, like I said before, Robert E. Howard's The Rights issue is going to be a thing next year. So make sure if you're going to grab Savage Avengers, make sure that you pick it up this year. Because as of right now, they no longer have the rights to the character of Conan. Big recommendation for the Legion of Superheroes 5 years later. Again, Mark Waid does this, and Mark Waid does great work on this one here. Annihilation, one of the great cosmic events. I wish I had this one, actually. This is a really good omnibus. We got like a Volume 3 of Wolverine finally coming out. Volume 2 is good. I don't have it, but there's a couple like graphic novels there, and I wasn't like, the graphic novels are really good, but I wasn't super into the art style on those specific ones. So I'll buy those Wolverines, but only if I get them at a really good price, basically. Get the Silver Surfer Omnibus here by Slot. But the big thing for this one here, it's got Mike Allard artwork, and Mike Allard's kind of like unique style. Of course, he's a creator of Madman. him and his wife, Laura Eller, did amazing work on Madman, and he has a very unique style to him, to his work. I'll just like bring it up right here. It's just like the line work and everything is so unique and different. Yeah, pop art reinterpretation. It's just incredible stuff. Strongly recommended when it comes to these here. Of course, we got Grayson coming out. If you want like when Dick Grayson was a spy, well, not Rick Grayson. Like forget the Rick Grayson thing. There has been a pushback for Spider-Man 2099 till April of 2023. This was originally supposed to come out in September. Like I said before, but like the things getting changed. This was going to be one of my Christmas presents, and I guess this is going to be now one of my birthday presents because I grew up at the time when the 2099 universe came about. I think I was in college, and I had this with the holofoil cover, along with Doom 2099, Ravage 2099, and God, what was the other ones that were there? I remember there was a Ghost Rider one. There's 2099 Unlimited. They're finally reprinting the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. This is going to be smaller on this because it's only a 12-issue series. So there's not really a lot that they can actually put into this. There was no kind of like offshoots for Secret Wars. So yeah, really. So yeah, 1 to 12, you get a Thor issue, a She-Hulk issue, and you get a couple What If issues. But it's going to be a thin omnibus running in at like 496 pages. Is it really an omnibus at 496 pages? Like that's not a lot of pages for an omnibus. When the average omnibus goes anywhere between like late 700s to like 1500 pages, it almost seems like an oversized hardcover at that point. Definitely recommend the Ultimate Spider-Man. That one's out there right now to grab. Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 2. That's when John Romita came in. Volume 1 is being put out again. I think it's coming out in July. So that's going to get a reprint in July. So if you got Volume 2, if you don't have Volume 2, grab it now. Because usually what happens is once a reprint of a first volume comes out, then people start grabbing the second volume as well, and it goes out of print. So grab this one if you haven't got it. This is a really good one. This is John Romita's start on Amazing Spider-Man. This is where we finally get the unmasking of the Green Goblin. There's some great issues there. This was the first Amazing Spider-Man omnibus that I picked up, and because I wanted those issues. But just some incredible stuff here. Age of Apocalypse, hands down, the best for me, the best like X-Men like crossover storyline, because I love these alternate universe things, and this is definitely one of those. I'm waiting for this to go down in price because I've got the first volume of Justice League. There's only 2 volumes because this is the new 52 Justice League. It's at $171. I definitely wouldn't recommend it, even like the 12% off. Like wait till this drops under 100. But it's a good run, especially the second volume is definitely a really good run. But because the first volume ends off on a cliffhanger, just to let you know. You want to grab this, but you want to grab not at $171. Just wait, you'll see it. If you're in the United States, then you got like cheapgraphicnovels.com, organic price books, in stock trades, places like that. If you're here in Canada, you're limited to where you can go, but your local comic book shops usually put things out. A lot of local comic book shops, like really good ones, will put them at around 25% off the cover price. Or what they'll do is they'll put them at the American. They'll sell you Canadian price for the American, what the American cover price is. So basically, if it's a 125 in Canada and it's 100 in the United States, a lot of comic book shops, will actually sell it to you at 100 Canadian. Just go to your local comic book shop and ask them what their price and omnibus is. Shop around if you've got a couple of comic book shops. That way you can make sure you get the right deal. We recently re-released The Amazing Spider-Man by J. Michael Kuczynski, Volume 1. Volume 2 is probably, again, I think it's probably at print right now. And that's the case where it's happening again, where Volume 1 was announced just before it came out. Volume 2 used to be all over the place. You'd be able to get it everywhere, but you no longer can. All right. With that being said, I think that's enough of the look into what's upcoming and kind of an idea. So basically, I use the Keep app. That's how I that's how I keep up to date. Dad joke on what's coming up in comic books, and that's my haul. There's 6 for the month of May and June, 2 DC and 4 Marvel. Heavy into DC was kind of a Batman centric month, and Marvel is definitely a sci-fi fantasy centric month because I find myself reading more sci-fi and fantasy, especially now. I'm not sure why, but it's just something that I've really taken to, and I'll read some of my Spider-Man, then I'll go back and read some Conan and some Call. I'll read some of the Cosmic Ghost Rider stuff. And then I'll have to go back to Spider-Man again because I'm just a Spider-Man fanatic. I am Aaron. Thanks for joining me today and hearing the Call to Comics, and I'll see you here again next time. As always, for me right now, my voice is going, and it's time for tea.